every melee in Roblox Rivals, and today I'm going to be ranking them from worst to best. So if you want to know where your favorite melee lands on this list, then be sure to watch to the end of the video. And of course, I'm doing a giveaway for 70,000 subscribers. I'm giving away a legendary key bundle and a skin case 3. If you want to join the giveaway, all you have to do is like, subscribe, watch to the end of this video, and comment your Roblox username plus which one of the two you want. And I'm going to be separating all the melees into 3 tiers. First, we have the poop tier, which is the worst tier. Next, we have the medium tier, and then we have the good tier. So be sure to know where your favorite melee lands on this list. First up, we have the poop tier. These are the melees that need some help. These are the melees that I don't really find myself using or really anyone else using all that much. They're the melees that are in desperate need of some changes. This is the poop tier. First up, we have the Trow. I think the Trow is a somewhat okay melee in the sense that, like, it has a very cool aspect to it. Okay, I had to leave that game. It was making me extremely laggy. Yeah, the Trow is cool because, I mean, this is the only melee where you can literally place walls. And there's been a lot of really cool glitches with the Trow that has actually been patched recently, and that's not very fun. But in terms of a movability aspect, this melee kind of sucks for movability. It's really not that much different than just running normally, like with your paintball gun, for example, or whatever gun you're using. I think even like the energy pistols are faster than the trowel, which is kind of funny to me. And this only does like 50 damage per hit, and that's not the best really. You have to hit them 3 times, which I think that's about the same with the knife, with the exception the knife you can actually backstab people with. The paintbrush skin on this is pretty cool because you can actually like paint your own Roblox skin like on the wall here, which I don't have that skin, but I kind of wish I did. But there's not really much to this really. I mean, you can only place like one wall at a time, so they broke that. I say they broke it, but they got rid of that glitch to where you can just jump up and do that, which I didn't really utilize. I didn't really utilize that glitch that much, but then of course you can make these concrete by just doing that, and then you can jump on them like that, which that's pretty much the only good use to this. But people don't really use the trowel that much. It's in the classic bundle, and this is definitely like the worst. This is the worst like thing in the classic bundle because it just doesn't have very many uses, and I think there's better options out there. Next, we have the battle axe. Using this thing feels like turning into a slug because you go so slow with this thing. It's not the best. Of course, you have your right click ability where you can just spin around in a circle like that, and that's pretty good for like close range. Like, I get so annoyed when like say this barrel's a person, they just walk up and do that, because that actually does a lot of damage, but per hit it's really not that much. It's just slow, and it's not the most damaging melee out there. There's a lot better, and I'm just not a big fan of it really. I don't really see it get used all that much, and that makes sense because it's really not that great. But I like my melee to have some sort of good movability feature to it, which this just doesn't have. Last up in the poop tier, we have the chainsaw. The chainsaw's damage is okay, but again, its movement isn't the best. You move really good when you press right click, you get a good boost, but the boost doesn't really last that long. You run out of gas pretty fast, and of course you can just kind of zoom through the air like that a little bit. And when you right click, you can do some decent damage doing that as well. But overall, it's really not that great for what it has to offer. There's better movability melees out there, and there's melees that do way more damage, so this just kind of struggles to find a place compared to the rest of the melees in the game, and that's kind of why I don't really like this thing as much. The dash is nice, but that's really about it. Next up, we have the medium tier. These are the melees that are alright to use, but there's definitely some better options out there. These melees may have 1 or 2 problems with them that make them a lot worse than the other ones, but with a little bit of tinkering, they could be a lot better. This is the medium tier. Next up, we have the Riot Shield. Now, the Riot Shield, the thing about... Oh my god, I can't see. The thing about the Riot Shield is that it's a very easily countered melee. Like, this would be higher if the exo gun and the spray didn't exist. In fact, I'm actually gonna, like, unequip the Riot Shield because I can't see anything. But the Riot Shield itself is just so easy to counter. If you use the Riot Shield once for, like, its intended purpose, then the other enemy just breaks out the exo gun or the spray, and then after that you're pretty much dead. Or even like the flamethrower, or you know, just the flare gun or the Molotov. It's just such an easily countered melee that it's just not worth using in my opinion. And then you just go so slow with this thing and you can't see anything with it at all. It's just not an enjoyable experience to me personally. So coming up after the Riot Shield, we actually have the Katana. Now the Katana is slightly better than the Riot Shield because you can actually like deflect their bullets and probably be able to win a round because of that. But then it has the same problems as the Riot Shield as to where it's easily countered with the exo gun and the flare gun and the flamethrower and pretty much all the guns that I mentioned earlier that counters the Riot Shield counters the Katana too. Just the Katana is able to do more damage than the Riot Shield, and that's pretty much the only benefit to the Katana, really. I know there's a lot of people that like the Katana and the Riot Shield, but it's just so easy to counter that I don't really see a point in placing it any higher on this list for that reason. And it doesn't provide very much movement benefits. Like the Katana, it's fast, but you know, the Riot Shield's pretty slow. I know a lot of pros like to use the Katana, but I don't really see the hype around it, really. Because if the other person has exo gun or spray, yeah, Katana, you're done. Or flamethrower. Like I said, all of those guns, yeah, you can just you can counter these melees so easily with them. Next up, we have the knife. The knife, I probably would have originally placed lower on the list just simply because it doesn't have any movement benefits. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized the knife really doesn't have any counters. I mean, the only thing you can do to counter the knife is just run away. And the people that are really, really good at the knife is really, really good with it. I mean, if you've seen any of Dark Trew's videos, like, you can be absolutely insane with a knife if you can use it properly. Like, it doesn't have any weapons that counter it, kind of like the Riot Shield and the Katana, but you can backstab people for 150 damage just one-shotting them, and that's something that no other melee can do beside the knife. Now, it is a little hard to backstab people, but once you get the hold of it, it's really not that hard to do. And of course, the front stab damage isn't the best. I don't know if it's 35 or 50, I'm unsure, but then the backstab damage is absolutely insane, and that's why it's placing at the top of the medium tier, because it can be super, super good, but only in the right hands, and the right hands is not very many people. Finally, we have the good tier. These are the melees that are very worth using. These are the melees that I find myself using personally all the time, and these are the melees that I see being used the most by other people. These are the melees that I can't live without. This is the good tier. Next up, we have the fists in the bottom of the good tier. The fists are really good in my opinion. They're a very good movement melee. It doesn't have the best damage in the world, but it doesn't have the worst damage in the world either, because you can actually attack super fast with these things. Wraps do look kind of weird on them though. That's one of my visual complaints about this melee. As you can see, I have one of the birthday wraps on here, and it just looks absolutely atrocious. So I usually don't put a wrap on the fists at all. I don't know why I have one on right now, but it is what it is. The double jump is just so useful on this thing. You can pair this with, like, I don't know, let me try the subspace trip mine. You can jump in the air, and then you can do a double jump in the middle of the air just to go a little bit farther. And you can do that with grenade jumps. You can do that with satchels or grenade launcher. Just whip out the fists and you can go slightly farther, which just it goes a long way after that, which that's why I'm placing fists in the good tier. That's why I didn't place it any lower. It is the starter melee, and it's extremely good. And of course, coming up in first place, the best melee in the game is the Scythe. I personally think the Scythe is the best melee in the game because the attack damage isn't too bad on this thing, and the Scythe dash is just so essential to me as a player. I oftentimes find myself, like when I'm using another melee on the off chance, I attempt to do a dash with the other melee, forgetting that I don't have the Scythe in my hands. And it's just, for me, it's hard to play without the Scythe personally because I use the Scythe dash so much. I've just gotten so used to it. I just can't play the game as well as I can without this thing. I know some people may not be in the same boat as me, but it's a really, really cool melee in my opinion. There's a reason why you use this melee in the tutorial, and it's because it is the best of all time. This is also definitely the most used melee in the game, which I'm usually not the kind of guy that would like something that everyone else uses. Like, I hate how everyone votes for arena all the time, and I hate how everyone just sticks to the assault rifle and nothing else. But I think the Scythe gets a pass from that for me personally, because it's just such a good melee to use, and I think there's not much better out there. Let me know your melee list down in the comments below, and subscribe for more Roblox Rivals videos just like this.